This is the Friday, November 11th, 2016, Veterans Day edition of the High School Football Roundup podcast. I'm Walter Johnson. I'm going to do a quick preview of the playoff games in GHSA Class AAA, AA, and Single A Public for the first round, as well as a couple of playoff games in the GISA. And not much time to waste, so let's get started. And start in GHSA Class AAA, and the undefeated Crisp County Cougars, who finished the regular season at 10-0 on 0 overall, will play host to Islands out of the Savannah area. And Islands finished the regular season at 6-4 and will be the number 4 seed out of Region 3 AAA. And the Cougars have had a very outstanding season under second-year head coach Shelton Pelton, and will look to continue that success tonight on Friday, November 11th, which of course is Veterans Day. And in the other games, in the Worth County Rams, the number 2 seed out of Region 1 AAA, will be at home taking on the Southeast Bullock Yellow Jackets. And tonight at Milt Miller Field in Sylvester. And the Rams are coming off a tough loss to Crisp County. And the Rams are coming off a tough loss to Crisp County for the region championship last week. And Worth County had won 4 in a row before last week's loss to Crisp County. And Southeast Bullock has won 3 in a row since they last lost a game. And Southeast Bullock comes in at 5-4 overall. And it'll be interesting to see how that game turns out. And number 3 seeded Cook, the Cook Hornets, who make their 17th straight state playoff appearance, will travel to Savannah to take on Savannah High. And the Hornets knocked off Monroe 24-14, or 20-14 last week, to advance to the state playoffs. And that game, however, won't be played until Saturday, Saturday, November 12th. Which would be tomorrow, as this podcast is being recorded. And finally, the Darty Trojans from Albany will be in Savannah and tonight on this Friday, November 11th, as they'll take on Jenkins. And this is Darty's first playoff appearance since 2008. And the Trojans took last week off. Since off, it's been, and Darty hasn't played in a little over 2 weeks since and Darty's last game was on October 27th, and Crisp County cruised with a convincing 42-6 win. And Jenkins and the Warriors from Jenkins come in red hot, winning 7 straight games since its only loss of the season to Liberty County. And before moving on, and the winner of the Southeast Bullock Worth County game will move on to the second round and face the Pace Academy Greater Atlanta Christian winner. And Pace Academy won the AA state championship last year, but barely made the playoffs in AAA this year. And the winner of the Darty Jenkins contest will face the Union County Cedar Grove winner. And moving right along to the Class AA playoffs within the GHSA. And top seeded Fitzgerald will be at home against Dublin. And obviously one of the best games of the week around the state. And the Purple Hurricanes finished the regular season 9-1 last week with a 33-20 win over Thomasville to take the region title. And they'll face a Dublin team that ended up being the number 4 seed out of Region 3 AA. Despite finishing region play at 4-2 and 8-2 overall. And Dublin, however, did knock off Washington County 27-26 to secure a playoff berth. And also, the second place team in Region 1 AA, the Thomasville Bulldogs, will play host to Dodge County. And Dodge County comes in at 5-5 overall, 4-2 in the region. Even though Thomasville barely finished the regular season above 500 at 5-4 overall, they did finish 4-1 in region play. They get enough for second place in the region. Should be an interesting game. And also Berks County, and reel off 6 wins in a reel off 5 wins in a row before they lost to Christmas County, and then barely eked out a 3-2 mark in region play. Will be the third place team after defeating Berrien 41-20 last week. And Berks County will travel to Macon to face Southwest and the Berrien will be on the road as well, traveling to Sandersville, Georgia, to take on Washington County. So it'll be so again, Dublin is at Fitzgerald, Dodge County at Thomasville, Brooks County at Equipment, Georgia. Will be in Macon to take on Southwest Macon in Middle Georgia, and Berrien travels to Sandersville, Georgia, to take on Washington County. And moving on to single A. And single A playoffs, and the Pelham Hornets, as the GHSA Region 1 single A champion, will get a first round bye as the number 3 seed, and the Hornets will await the winner at the Wheeler County Greene County game, and that game will be played in Greensboro, Georgia. And Greensboro, Georgia is located roughly halfway in between Atlanta and Augusta along I-20, and just south, about roughly 30 to 45 minutes south of Athens. But as for the teams that are in action tonight, and the Randolph Clay Red Devils will head down to the Centennial Stadium in Camilla to face Mitchell County. And this is the second time both the Red Devils and Eagles have met. And in the last meeting on October 1st, a Saturday night game, Randolph Clay held off Mitchell County 28-22. And Mitchell County has won 4 out of its final 5 games, while Randolph Clay has lost 3 of its last 5 contests, which included last week's loss to Terrell County. And the final score is 56-8, and Terrell County won rather handily last week. And the winner of that game will advance to the second round, where a tough opponent will await them in Clinch County, which has a first round bye, just like Pelham. And one of the more interesting first round matchups in the single A public school division will take place in Dawson, as the Terrell County Green Wave will play host to Turner County. And Terrell County is obviously on a roll. Enters Friday's game on a 5-game winning streak, and after starting the season at 1-2, Turner County has won 6 of its last 7 contests, and the winner will hit the road as well, and will play at top number 1 seed at Macon County, in the second round of the public school playoffs. And how about some other teams and from our area that have advanced to the state playoffs? Irwin County will be the number 21 seed and will travel to Vienna, Georgia to take on Dooley County. And the winner of that game will be on the road against Mountain Zion. And 13th seeded Miller County is at home against Bowden down in Colquitt, Georgia. And should the Pirates defeat and eliminate Bowden in the first round, and they'll travel to Twin City, Georgia next week to take on Emmanuel County Institute, or ECI. And we'll move right along, and we go to, and how about the GISA playoffs? As mentioned, the Deerfield Windsor Knights will be on the road for the third week in a row to face the Gatewood Gators in Edison, Georgia tonight. And Gatewood has defeated Brookwood out of Thomasville, Georgia, and the Heritage School out of Noonan, Georgia, just southwest of Atlanta, in Coweta County to make the state semifinals. And Deerfield Windsor upset Augusta Prep. Then Augusta Prep finished the regular season at 8-1, and then last week they traveled to the Georgia coast on St. Simon's Island, and ousted Frederica from the Class AAA state playoffs within the GISA. And the winner of the Deerfield Windsor Gatewood game will face the winner of the John Millage Valwood contest next Friday at Mercer University in Macon for the state championship, where it's at 5 Star Stadium. And a lot on the line in that contest. And who knows, there could be a potential rematch of last year's state championship game in GISA Class AAA, where Valwood rallied in the second half to defeat Deerfield for the championship last season. And in GISA Class AA, and the Terrell Academy Eagles will make the trip to Warrenton, Georgia to take on the Buccaneers of Briarwood Academy. And Terrell Academy's won 6 in a row. Hard to believe this was a Terrell Academy team that started the season at 1-4. And as for the Bucks, they eliminated Robert Toombs in second round action in GISA Class AA last week. And the winner of Terrell Academy Briarwood will meet the winner of the Memorial Day Flint River Academy game. And for the Class AA, GISA Class AA state title, and which will also be held at 5 Star Stadium in Macon, Georgia, on the campus of Mercer University. And before wrapping things up, and just like to say, and coming soon to the Southwest Georgia Network, and barring anything out of the ordinary, got season number 2 of the SWGA Sports Podcast, which you can follow on Twitter at SWGA Network, and on Spreaker, and at Spreaker.com/user/SWJ Network 12345. And you can also follow along for other content. And that's going to do it for this special Veterans Day edition of the High School Football Roundup Podcast Live. I'm Walter Johnson. Good luck to all the teams participating in the playoffs. Thanks for listening.